Hey guys, AJ here, back with another one. So I haven't gone live in a while. I just wanted to go live real fast. And yeah, guys, let's just talk about a little poll that I did the other day. And it's basically I asked you guys, can you be pro men's rights, pro fathers' rights, and red pill while be a leftist slash Democrat? And I want to say thanks to all you guys who voted. I got like 107 votes. And like it's 83% no way and 17% yes. So it looks like a lot of you guys agree with me that it's impossible to be a leftist slash Democrat and be pro male. Now, in my opinion, guys, the old school, like working class liberals from back in the day, like the Hoffa style dudes and all those guys that would actually go out and crack heads for unions and stuff. Those guys were on the left back in the day, like way back in the 60s and the 70s. Those guys were like, masculine men that were actually out there trying to fight the good fight, right? But old times have changed, right? And now we have this situation where the left despises men, right? It's it's just this thing where you go to college campuses now, popular media, all this, they despise men. And guys, remember to like, subscribe, hit a like on the stream. But yeah, so what really kind of like woke me up was, you know, I'm black, and being a black guy, I would hear a lot of the language that a lot of the popular media and then a lot of like your college campuses, even back when I was in college back in the early 2000s, this language that they would use is just straight misandrous language. And this is a lot of language that they use to describe black men way back in the old, really, discriminatory films. But now they use that for all men, and it's kind of ridiculous. So a modern example of the left, not and guys, I'm an independent, so I'm not on the right or the left. I vote based on issues, right? But if you had to put a gun to my head, I would have to lean more to the right. Sorry, that's just how it is. But when I first started this channel, I was ripping all over Stacey Abrams because I can't stand her, right? And I was covering her campaign during the midterms. I was hoping and praying that her campaign would crash and burn. And guess what, guys? It did. And boy, did it feel good. It was great. I think some of my first videos to actually crack 1,000 views were actually, me crapping on Stacey Abrams. So all the Democrats have done, especially during the midterms, is talk about Stacey Abrams. Oh, she has to win. Blah 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 blah. And of course, she lost. Now, guys, I live in the DMV area, specifically in Maryland. And guys, pop quiz, guys. Does anyone know who the governor of Maryland is right now? Anyone? It's this guy. Look. It's Wes Moore. This is Wes Moore. Wes Moore is the first black governor of Maryland, right? So you would think that BLM and all these, Democrats were like, oh, yay, Wes Moore, woohoo. And he would be all in the news. But you know what? You didn't hear a peep. There was one nationwide article, I think, about Wes Moore, right? Now, he won fair and square, so his skin color has nothing to do with it. But on the left, where it's all identity politics, you would think that they would be singing praises. But no, he's not a black woman. That's the problem. And like we said, the left it hates men, despises men. And Wes Moore, he, quote, on their side might have been the right skin tone, but he wasn't the right gender. So he didn't get any shine whatsoever. So this is kind of like makes it obvious that that my whole theory that Democrats are not only not pro male, but they hate men. So you cannot be for, you know, any type of equality, like and addressing men's problems and be on the left. It's impossible. Even if you do lean more liberal, just call yourself an independent and be done with it. So, guys, there's a couple of articles here that I had found, and this first one is actually saying that even younger Democrats are actually souring on the whole super effeminist, we hate men type of mindset of the modern day Democrats. Let's just check this out real quick. So, guys, this is called Young Democrats Are Souring on Effinism, right? And look at that. Did you guys see a more fitting picture than right there? I mean, come on, right? So, the most interesting thing is, look, this person here, it says, it's no surprise that young people and even young Democrats are particularly disillusioned, given that contemporary feminism's hard edge is especially potent on college campuses, online spaces, and other places that young people frequent. Older liberal men have experienced feminism as women fighting for equal opportunities. Younger men, even liberal progressive men, have experienced it as a governing regime under whose power they could face arbitrary harm. Now, guys, that is true. Arbitrary harm, meaning that that the rules change and you could just get nailed at any time. And that's why a lot of men are avoiding women at work. They're not approaching women for dates anymore. They're not having it because all this stuff, the punishment is real, but the criteria for what they consider a transgression is arbitrary. So men are like, wait a minute, cost benefit, it's not worth the risk, right? And now you see that even younger men that are Democrats don't like the fact that the Democrats don't like men, which leads to my theory. You cannot be pro male, pro father's rights, or red pill and be a Democrat. It's not possible, just like my poll. So this person here put this tweet. Says, this squares with my own personal experience. My parents are both lifelong Democrats because they were raised in an era where Democrat meant Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton. My brother and I both became Republicans in college because of our interactions with the new left. And that's true. I know many guys who in college started out, yeah, man, girls, yay. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I didn't do anything wrong. Well, you're just a white male, la 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 la. It's like, what? How do you expect people to cooperate with you to get anything done if you're just talking trash based on their gender and their race all the time? Like I said, guys, I'm black, so I don't get how, honestly, how young white dudes on campus and stuff just deal with people, with these women and these male effinists just talking trash all the time. You're a white male, as if that's supposed to be some trump card that they can shut you down with. Crazy. So let me go. So we have another one here. And this one is about why they're saying that this is from the Washington Post, and they're actually admitting that progressives don't even think about male issues at all. And it's sad that we even have to have this argument, right? Because if we're talking about equality, the whole feminist argument is about equality, right? Equal opportunity, equal treatment under the law. They can't even admit that things like self-deletion and all these other things and homelessness, which affects men. These are issues that affect men. Men not getting creamed in family court. You know what I mean? These are real issues, and they don't pay attention. So this one's called "Why Progressives Should Stop Avoiding Men's Issues," and this is written in 2019. And it basically goes into how, there's the M2 thing. It says, to some, even talking about, here we go. The very phrase men's issues conjures up images of bitter, angry white guys who stupidly don't realize that they are oppressors and on top of the world. In the era of blank M2, men don't have problems. They are the problem. See? It's true. To some, even talking about men's problems can brand one as tone deaf and sexist, right? And he says, I am a liberal. I've studied and support feminism, and I know well that harassment and SA are common. But the fact that the women they remain, in many ways, does not negate that the reality that many men are struggling and are victims of economic and cultural changes, ones that often also hurt women, children, and society. Men are not a monolithic group, right? And then it talks about, the orange guy and the 2016 election and how Hillary Clinton called anyone that's going to vote for him deplorables, right? And then look at this. About 20 million men have abandoned work as the male or work has abandoned them. As the male civilian labor force participation rate has fallen from 85% to 69%. And now there's inflation. Young adult males have a higher poverty rate than their counterparts 40 years ago. Now, compared with girls, boys have more behavioral problems and a lower average academic achievement. Health and mental health problems among men are increasing. Life expectancy, which remains stagnant among women, is declining among men, and males bear the brunt of opioid overdoses and alcohol addiction and self-deletion. It's 3.5 times more common in men than women. Men are lonely or disengaged from society as memberships in unions and organizations that foster male camaraderie, such as Rotaries, Elk Clubs, and has created. Males' anger is rife towards women, employees, government, and the system, which whatever. So they're saying, look at this. Helping all people in physical, social, economic, and psychological distress should be defining characteristic of a humane, caring, and democratic society, but it's not. Because in our society, only a certain group or a certain gender is allowed to have their problems addressed. However, in our bitterly divided times, these foundational goals have been politicized. Many on the right have drawn attention to men's problems. And of course, they got to lay in the old gut punch, some thoughtfully, but more often to bash feminism. Many on the left are silent. Here we go, guys, because they're implausibly unaware of such issues, or more likely less willing to highlight them because doing so would be deemed politically correct. So, guys, even saying that men need help of any kind or that men's problems should be recognized is politically incorrect. This failure of liberals is not only morally wrong, but also hurts their own prospects of winning broader support among men. And then, of course, they always have to throw Dr. King out there because these liberal writers always act like if they throw someone like Gandhi or Dr. King, that's going to make them seem much more deep, right? So, yeah, I mean, this was from the Washington Post in 2019, guys, and it's just nuts that this is going on, that this is happening this way, right? And guys, a little bit of history on me. So I'm from Washington State. So I grew up in a really, really liberal area, and I went to a really, really liberal hippie school. And guys, I have seen some of the worst male ethnicist I hate my own gender type of dudes out there, man. And all of its performance art, all these guys that are male feminists, they they can't get chicks, so they sell out their own gender. They're like, yeah, man, guys are assholes, man, but I'm not like that, bro. I'm not some alpha misogynist, man. I'm a sensitive guy, and all they're trying to do is get chicks. You know what I'm saying? And it's a joke, and these chicks actually fall for this. It's an absolute joke, right? So we have another article here, guys. Let's go to this real quick. But I wasn't surprised with the outcome of the poll, because all you guys who subscribe to this channel, I think all of us are actually smart enough to understand that, look, guys, no one's coming to save us men. So we have to save ourselves. That's the only way that it's going to work, you know? And here we go. So this is about millennials, guys. Here we go. Young women are trending liberal. Young men are not. Right? And this is from The Hill. And saying young women are more likely to identify as liberal now than at any time in the past 2 decades. Is anyone surprised? Because I am not. Let's look at some numbers. 44% of young women counted themselves liberal in 2021 compared to 25% of young men, according to Gallup poll data. The gender gap is the largest recorded in 24 years of polling. The finding culminates years of rising liberalism among women ages 18 to 29 without any increase among their male peers. Here we go. Here we go. So now they're going to try and explain why, right? Several societal forces have conspired to push young women to the left in recent years, including the M2, the orange guy, alphabet people, and most recently, baby deletion. Slower cooking trends in marital status and educational attainment have also nudged the needle. I think there's a big generational shift that happened with Gen Z women who were really coming of age in the last 5 years. Look, this person, Kelsey Kretschmer, a sociologist who studies gender politics. Oh, I wonder what that takes. I wonder what kind of crackerjack degree that takes to teach, right? The rift between young men and women may widen further. Earlier this year, there's a whole Roe v. Wade thing or whatever. So this is last year. The ruling energized young women. Now it says 61% of young women they consider baby deletion a critical issue, compared with 36% of all Americans. I would always choose a candidate that's pro, choice. Says Rosa Merhos, a government major at Wesleyan University in Connecticut. The share of men who identify as liberal has held steady for almost 25 years. So roughly 1/4 of men ages 18 to 29 call themselves liberal. Meanwhile, among young women, liberalism has exploded in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Wow. The liberal camp grew through the second term of George W. Bush. It expanded further during the tenure of Obama, and it reached 39% in 2017 when the orange guy came in. Look at this, guys. So you can see this is 98, this chart here. So this is women. And so around 2016, you saw a pretty big spike in liberals, and then with men, and then it dropped. So 2020, and then it went up a little bit 2020, and now it's going back down. So if we look at these numbers, what do you guys think caused this? Because I can see that, that women would have gone up because the second term of W's presidency wasn't that popular, and women were all mad. You know what I'm saying? And then um this was during Obama, so you can see that it went down for men. I think that a lot of men checked out in the latter part of Obama's presidency, because he was saying Happy Father's Day to all the single moms out there. He was saying, that women are the backbone of the community and all this other crap. So I think that a lot of men of all colors, creeds, and stuff checked out. You know what I'm saying? And then it went up during the orange guy, and then it went down, and now it's going back. Yeah. So here you go. Young women today are much more liberal than young men. In all of my government classes, there are probably 2 men out of 18 people. I'm wondering if women are maybe just more inclined to be involved in the community, engaged in the community, and that liberalism. Now that is BS, guys. Who thinks that that's true? See, men, we get involved in our community by starting businesses, providing jobs. You know what I'm saying? Building things like, oh, here, we'll build a rec center. What she's saying is community activism are these girls who go and march and wear these stupid hats on their heads and hand out flyers. Men actually do stuff, and we don't seek accolades for it either. Guys, if you look, all the people who contribute to charity the most are usually affluent, and they're usually more on the conservative side. You don't see them trumpeting the fact that they contribute, however many millions of dollars to a children's hospital, or that they built the hospital in the first place. Ezra Meyer is a senior at GW who leads the college Republicans. He's a conservative on a campus that is overwhelmingly liberal and largely female. Guys, I made a video on this. It was one of my first ones where we see that 64% of all college students are female now, and in some campuses it's over 70%. You know what I mean? So in conversations with classmates about politics, he treads lightly. My metric for deciding that if I'm going to be friends with someone really does not come down to what their politics are. It comes down to how tolerant they're, and that's facts. Because guys, most of the people that you go to the gym, you see them at work. Politics don't really come up much, right? So you don't really have time to actually have these deep conversations. But there are times where someone might say something and you're like, huh. But the thing is, it's these people that tend to mostly be on the left now that are so intolerant. If they hear you say anything that's slightly against that narrative, all of a sudden you're in the horrible, you're an ist or a phobe or any of this. So it's intolerance. Meyer doesn't know whether men at GW skew more liberal or conservative than the women, but he has noticed a distinct trend among campus conservatives this fall. We've been doing a lot of recruiting of freshmen on campus, and I would say overwhelmingly it's been male. Big surprise, right? Because they're going to a place where they feel appreciated, they feel like they belong, they feel like they're not being villainized. Imagine, guys, you're new and you're on a campus. They now have these campus onboarding things where they're saying, oh, don't do essay, they're just assuming that you're a young guy, that you're some predator. It's absolute clown world now. And then you're walking out of this seminar, right? And you're walking back to your dorm and you see some guy in a suit going, hey man, how are you? Welcome to the campus. So how do you like it here? And you're like, good. Aren't you going to tell me that I'm a predator? No, dude, here's our our flyer. Meet us at the room and we'll just chat. That's more welcoming than, oh, you're just a man and you're rah, 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 right? The conservative females that do get involved, there's fewer of them, but they tend to be way more passionate and way more involved. And that's facts, guys. Where I used to live in Washington State, all of the people that were protesting Planned Parenthood were all women, and they weren't playing around, man. They would get these chicks' faces, screaming, yelling. They had signs. You know what I mean? Like a lot of women that are on the that are not who are more traditional tend to be very, very passionate. Several factors have liberalized the nation's 20-something women. The most recent and perhaps most powerful is the M2, an uprising against SA abuse and harassment that caught fire, empowering millions of women to come forward and seek justice. The inauguration of the orange guy also pushed young women into the liberal column. Blah, 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 blah. Polling in 2016 showed that only 25% of women aged 18 to 34 favored the orange guy, compared to 40% the same age men. But here's the thing, guys. The majority of white women actually voted for the orange guy in both of his elections. So it's a small group of younger college-educated chicks. So the rise of liberalism among young women has also marched apace with the dramatic increase in young people that are alphabet. In recent survey, 56% of young women reported exclusive attraction to men, while 3/4 of young men said they were solely attracted to women. Prior research suggests that alphabet Americans of all ages tend towards liberalism. Sidebar, guys. Don't mess with chicks that claim that they're bi. It's not a good plan. Because oftentimes, guys, you see more and more and more that these girls, they're dating these chicks that are more mannish. And there's violence, man. There's a lot of violence going on with same-sex female types of relationships. And oftentimes you'll have a girl's ex-girlfriend that's trying to, walking with a backwards hat, like, what up, son? And all of a sudden, she's trying to get in your face, I don't recommend it. Several long-term trends have fed the liberalization of young women as well. One is marriage. Here's the big one, guys. The share of women ages 18 to 29 who are married has fallen by half in 20 years, from 31% in 2000 to 15% in 2021. The growing ranks of single 20-something women feel a sense of linked fate. They gravitate towards female friends and political views, whereas married women were more often mirroring the politics of their spouses. So, guys, we have a whole bunch of young, single, Doug MPA says liberalism's not the path to go for men, especially black men. Not just, black men especially, but any, white men, Muslim men, any type of men. Why are you going to go where you're hated, right? Yeah, true. Yep. All these categories now, right? And now, how it goes, we have all these 20-something old women that are, we're gonna this and liberalism that. We're not getting married, and then you're gonna hit the wall at 35, and it's gonna be over, right? The correlation between what women's sense of linked fate and liberal political preference suggests that the Democratic Party will benefit from declining marriage rates among young women. Kretschmer and two co-authors wrote in 2007 paper. So, guys, this is true that there is a reason why the traditional nuclear family and heterosexual relationships are not being peddled on the left. It's because it gets them votes. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys, this is not hard. You know what I'm saying? This isn't four-dimensional chess here, Okay. Women also outpace men in educational attainment, a trend that dates to the 1980s. The ratio of women to men in college enrollment now stands at roughly 60 to 40 and continues to grow. Americans who complete college are more liberal than those who do not. But what's the problem there, guys? These women are graduating with degrees they can't use and with a whole bunch of student loan debt. So they have all these women. We are going to have a lost generation of women who never got married, have a bunch of student loan debt, that are going to try and do IVF. It's not going to work, and they're going to be miserable. Here we go. Putting off marriage, going to college, entering the workforce. Women are doing that at much higher rates than they used to. And all of those things are going to make conservatism and the Republicans significantly less attractive to women. It's crazy, guys. I do have some male friends that are moderate, and this lady says it annoys the hell out of me. So she's even saying that her friends that are moderate annoy her. And all of it is, once again, the lack of tolerance on the left. You need to think what I think, or you are some istophobe. And guys, we don't really have that type of intolerance unless you're some goofy male effeminist who doesn't have any testicles. But what I am saying is, I have friends of mine that I don't agree with on a lot of things. Well, we can still chill. You know what I'm saying? I have one more article here, guys. Let's jump into this here. Guys, this is a big one. Okay? The Democrats are losing black men. The Monahan report explains why. Okay? Guys, and you know what? I'm going to drop the link here so that people can check this out afterwards. Look at that. Guys, so I am black. So for those of you who don't know, and the last, I would say, 20 years, a lot of black men have been leaving the Democratic Party, and you do see with the whole Stacey Abrams thing, a large amount of black men, the majority of black men did vote for her, right? But a good amount voted for the other guy, right? And what's happening is that you have black men who are looking up and saying, wait a minute, Democrats, they want to push the black female agenda, but black men, we don't get anything out of, they don't even compete for our votes. This Stacey Abrams campaign was the first time that I'd seen them actually trying to compete for black male votes. We were actually part of the conversation, right? And a lot of that is because black, especially young black millennial men, most of the black men that I know in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, we saw through the whole BLM scam. We saw through the whole, all this foolishness, right? And then you would have most of the women in our lives saying, oh, well, you're a sellout, or you're this, or you're that. It's crazy. And what's even crazier, guys, if you want to see how genuine the left is, do you remember when the Roe v. Wade thing was overturned? Did you see all the people on the left trashing Clarence Thomas? Now, I'm not a big fan of the guy, but you should have saw all the crazy stuff that they were saying about him. And they're supposed to be the tolerant group, calling him, all the coons and all this other stuff. White people calling him this. So you think that men, especially black men, are going to want to stay with and deal with a political party that's actually doing that? Come on. But so this is called The Democrats Are Losing Black Men. The Monahan report explains why. And the major takeaways is when a party assumes it's entitled to every vote within a certain demographic, it will treat even the slightest sign of defection as an emergency. And that's true because as of late, the Democrats don't even compete for the black vote because they just think they have it. Well, black men are saying no more. The Democrat subversion of male responsibility within the home has made it increasingly antagonistic towards men and the traditional family structure, which is absolutely true. When you have these women that think that they've done this revisionist history and they grew up with their mom and their dad married and then their grandma and their granddad and then their great grandma, and all they see is, oh well my grandma must have been getting beat up by with a stick and all, and that's complete BS. DV has always been rare, always, and it wasn't like in 1880 there was just whoopings going on. You know what I'm saying? But that's what the Democrats have had to do, is basically say, women, look, before 1963, you guys were basically slaves getting beat on, and that's not how it worked. The last one, the Democrats can feel their grips slipping. People who use their platforms to decry masculinity can't also claim to care about men. That is true. Anyone that tries to say that masculinity is bad, masculinity is toxic, things that make men great, ambition, competition, all these things, you cannot be pro male if you say that that's bad. And you can't be pro male when you presuppose that women have always been better than men, but the only reason why men are in a better place is because of some mythical boogeyman out there. No. Crazy, absolute clown world, you know? Here, let me drop the link for anyone who wants to call in, and I'll start going over the rest of this article here. But yeah, guys, I mean, let me know. I mean, I I honestly think that modern day leftist politics now, the modern day left is anathema, is antithetical to uh I wouldn't even say strong masculine frame. I would say a decent masculine frame. If you're just a regular dude who wants to get up, go to work, get married, have, if you choose to do so, have some kids or whatever, that's a you cannot be on the left. You just can't. There's no way. Because there's always going to be this insidious influence in your house that is trying to take the power base away, just trying to undercut your authority and undercut your ability to be the person that you need to be to raise your family. Uh-oh. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep. What's up, man?
Hey, it's Doug in PA. Thanks for covering this topic. I am black as well, and you are right on this 100%. Um, the you, you can't be a liberal and be pro male. It just can't happen.
You can't. There's no way. There's no way. And the thing is, I've heard people try and argue like, well, I can be moderate left. I'm not trying to say that you have to be far right. No, but because, as I said, I'm an independent now, so I literally vote based on issues, right? But you cannot vote. Was it party line? A Democrat and be pro male because it's against your own interests as a guy in the West. It's crazy.
That's true. I
There you
agree.
go. Well, keep going.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And this whole thing where, so here's the thing, it's become necessary for men, particularly black men, to leave the Democratic Party. But I think there's gonna be a period of conservatism in the next 10, 15 years where women are going to have to fall so far. They're going to have to break through that
That's
social and
that's
financial
facts.
safety net
That's facts.
to be able to move over. And I'm I'm an independent. I don't I there are sides of conservatism a- and liberalism that are good, but you just it we live in like a representative. democracy, right? And it's just so I can never be truly a Republican because the elected officials in the Republican Party are just a clown show. So it's like the elected officials are worse on the Republican side, but the people that are Democrats are are worse. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, here it says, look, the Democrats' subversion of male responsibility and authority so within the home has made it increasingly antagonistic towards men in the traditional family structure. Obama was routinely criticized by his liberal black base whenever he promoted marriage and fatherhood, and that's when he was like, "Happy Father's Day to all those single mothers out there." Complete BS. He promoted marriage and fatherhood in his speeches. And since then, these progressive critics have become the official voice of the party. The 2020 Democratic platform did not contain a single reference to the importance of marriage and the nuclear family, because of course not.
There
And
you
then
go.
look, the left's detachment of parenting from marriage is not confined to elected officials. Most people they associate the BLM with criminal justice reform, yet none of its 13 founding principles mention police brutality. But it does say they're going to break down the heteronormative, blah, 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 right? And here you go. The media has joined hands with activists on the Democratic Party in this regard. Several years ago, the MSNBC Roundtable discussion they featured three black professors who dismissed people advocating for marriage and responsible fatherhood as believers in the black father myth. I tell you guys, this is clown world here, right? Anyone that would say this hates men. Hates men. The Democrats and their media supporters,
Scroll down a
um,
little bit because my
yeah,
our avatars are covering
yep,
it.
are not completely percentages. Black men who identify as part of the alphabets are welcome allies in the party's war against traditional masculinity. Now, guys, if you have any friends that are kind of alphabet, you could see that there's a lot of discrimination based on race in there too.
100%.
Yep. Eric Adams said that drag queens are an integral part of education of school children. Gary Chambers told young black men at HBCU that they should support abortion on demand. Man, that's crazy. And the thing is, guys, you can't even say anything about black fathers, about black men, about men in general, without people automatically going, but what about women and blah,
And,
blah,
and
blah, blah,
and one
blah.
of the things I can't stand is one of my favorite stats is 70% of people that identify as non-binary are biological white women.
That's true.
And you haven't lived until you've been a black man and had a non-binary white woman try to say that her experience is worse than yours as a black man. I've lived that. It was the craziest thing ever. And it just got to the point I just tell her, stop talking. Stop. Stop talking. Well, you need to. I said, I don't have to understand anything that you're talking about right
That's
now.
facts. Absolute facts.
And I would advise if you get into any kind of victimhood discussion with the alphabet community and you're a black man, just stop the conversation. Say
Yep.
we're going
That's
to
true.
talk about something else.
Yep. That's true. And guys, I mean, honestly, all you hear about every day is, oh, if you presuppose men are just horrible at everything, I mean, every problem, oh, my tire blew out, must have been a man. Oh, it's hailing outside. It's the patriarchy. You know what I mean? How can you, as a guy, choose to be around people like that? Now, I know we have coworkers. We have there's ways that people are in our lives where we have no choice. But how can you choose to vote for or be around people that don't even have your gender's goals
That's
in
interest
mind, best interests.
at heart.
It's crazy. It's absolute clown world. And slowly, well, not even slowly, men are we're waking up, especially young men, you know, young men, white, black, Hispanic, are not having it anymore. We're not. Because if these women who are getting evicted at record rates, that are more homeless than ever, more single moms, have more credit card debt and consumer debt, have more student loan debt, you know what? They can take care of themselves. Guys, either be by yourself, stay in your house, you know, have your weekend car to chill, get an Xbox, you know what I'm saying? Or guys, get your passport, meet a chick, and import one.
Well, so
And don't vote a Democrat.
one of the things about equality I've noticed recently is women reserve the right. Okay, women reserve the right to not play the game of life if they don't want to, right? And they they don't understand that, they're trying to set things equal where men, you know, w- okay, they reserve the right to not participate in the game, and it women can still win without participating uh and performing. But they don't understand that if men start participating in the game of life, everybody loses. That's what they don't understand. It's not equal. Men have to perform, and society has to give them incentive to perform. And there's just going to be enough of us checking out where society is going to start suffering.
Yep.
And when you have multiple generations of men where, look, we're always going to perform, we're always going to
Well,
succeed, but
well, here's the thing: is you can't spend as a woman your whole 20s crapping on gender roles and saying we want this, and then all of a sudden you hit 34, and all of a sudden you want the gender roles back. That's not how it works. I want to get married. I don't want to work. I want to have a guy take care of me and try and get some IVF and pop out some kids. That's not how it works. You know what I'm
yep, I
saying?
agree.
It just
I agree.
doesn't make any sense. But luckily, just like this poll that I put on my channel, which once again, thanks all you guys for filling out. We're showing that the majority of men are saying no, nope, not gonna do it. I am
Yep,
not gonna be part of a party that doesn't give two shits about me. You know?
yep. And I'm not going to play a game that's rigged against me to lose.
Yep, it's true. So yeah, guys, I just want to do this. Oh, and one last thing, because I want to keep this short. Isn't it funny that they say that feminism is supposed to be about equality, but any woman that is against baby deletion that might vote either independent, well, anything but a Democrat, gets all kinds of hell from all of her female friends? Oh, you don't know what you're doing, you're ignorant, you're uninformed, you're a ist or whatever, all because a woman wants to be traditional, you know what I mean, wants to get married, have kids, all this other stuff. So the way that they treat their own, and that's the best thing. I made a video about this, guys. Guys, us men, we don't even really need to do anything. And this goes to all you white guys out there, all of my white male subscribers. I need you to listen good. And this is coming from a black guy, guys. You don't need to do anything. You just need
Yep,
to keep your head down, get your money right, and they're going to eat themselves alive.
yep. It's already
They're going
happening.
to hoot and holler and say, you white guys are the worst. All you white guys need to do is keep your head down and watch these effinists, right? And they're letting all these transformers in, right? And next thing you know, they're fighting because the transformers are telling women what it's like to be an actual woman. Now there's all this fighting, guys. And while men stand united, black men, white men, all of us men, they're over there. divide and crash. It's going to be hilarious. Hilarious. And you already see it happening now, guys. You see it in England, Canada. They have a lot more of these women that are old school feminists that aren't having this transformer thing. They're just not. So, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for today. Appreciate you guys while watching, just jumping on quick. And yeah, guys, I'm going to do some more lives. There's a couple topics I want to rant about because, stuff makes me angry. And yeah, thanks to Doug MPA, man. Thanks for jumping up. I know that this is short notice. And
this is a great topic. So thanks for covering it. I really appreciate it.
Cool. I appreciate it. All right, you guys. This is AJ. Appreciate you guys. Likes, subscribe, and I'm out of here.